break this status quo. Now it's time for our next presentation by Lupe. Lupe is from La Paz, Bolivia. So let's welcome Lupe.
Elevando la conexión hasta los 3.500 metros sobre el nivel del mar con La Paz.
1,500 meters at La Paz.
Capital administrativa de Bolivia, importante
Capital
centro
of
político,
Bolivia,
administrativo y económico financiero de América Latina.
Sector in Latin America.
Desde esta ciudad nos acompaña Lupe Canaviri, y ella es coach y developer advocate en laboratorio, pitonista de corazón e ingeniera de software. Ella nos dará importantes tips para convertirnos en estudiantes eficientes orientados al aprendizaje.
Turn into efficient students oriented towards learning. Telling me your intervention is not being heard. So let's wait 1 minute so that they can tell us. Are we ready? Okay. I'm sorry. So we'll ask you to begin again. Thank you. Now, is it okay? Yes. Okay. So I wanted to tell you that to become a job-oriented learner, it has been part of some learnings that I've achieved during my personal search for a job. And I am Luca. In some cities, I have always my links open to chat. I think it's important for us to have this concept clear when we're learning something new. For a long time, I was one of those girls, and I still are, gets distracted and gets lost in this world of internet and free content. I want to learn about everything, and so everything is, lots of tutorials on YouTube. You read a lot, and it will seem that at the end is so overwhelming, and you think you're such an apprentice in everything. I mean, it's not bad to feel curiosity about the world of technology, and I've spent many days where it felt sensation of overwhelming, too much content in the internet, so weird things. And then I studied computer science at the university. It was 5 years of study, and after 5 years, I felt I still don't know anything. What's Angular? What's all this? And I said, how am I supposed to get a job and look for a job when I have this idea that I lost 5 years of studying, still knowing nothing? But maybe it wasn't the case, but I felt I had to dominate all of these little things before starting to looking for a job. And maybe I thought I could start backwards, the opposite way. And I said, okay, let's start at the end instead. And what's that like and why? But when we look at this picture, how this would look at the end and what our objective is, it's much easier to fragment everything and divide it into little pieces, little chunks to be solved step by step. So to me, to start at the end was like, well, first, if I have to start at the end, I have to start reading the job descriptions that companies, need. What is it that they require today in the market? So I had to read lots of job descriptions. I made an Excel spreadsheet with more than 50 companies that I liked. Similar jobs, similar to the abilities and the skills I had. And I couldn't believe there were so many job offers. So a few days later, I decided to do this and look for the employment and search for jobs. There, I could see 90 results. I went to Google, more than 2,000 job offers with lots of requirements, or at least that's what they would seem to have, but they did not really have so much. And they were, wow, overwhelmed. But at the end, I suppose you can have, the dream of working at a certain place, like a dream job, right? And to me, that place would have been the Patito company. Patito, I think it's one of the most incredible companies around the world. And so I did the same exercise. I chose one of their job descriptions. Generally, companies have this part about us. And in this case, the Patito issued something like, this is a happy company that loves patitos or little ducks, if you translate it. And we want to impact little ducks' lifestyle. We want them to have a better lifestyle. And we build software that helps patitos or little ducks to have a better life. And about you, what is expected of you as future employee in this company? They wanted to have someone with experience with React, with experience with Angular, who knows the difference between CSS, Grid, and Flexbox. These descriptions, that way I had a clearer panorama of things, and that way I could set a clearer goal, more ground to earth. So, to such end, let's imagine our objective is this star, and we have some difference, some distance between ourselves and the star. So, the first picture would be this one. Let's say I would have a title in some kind of license in computer science and that I want to work with Google. The distance is not so large. But what if I have no title of any sort and I really want to be the top engineer in Google? So the distance increases, right? Between the objective and yourself. So you can be aware of how much the distance is. And to such end, I wanted to say that it's good to design some questions. What's the general question in this case? For many cases, how to become a front end developer. That's too general, and maybe at this point, if I want to start at the end, the question would be how to interview for a front end role. What would this be like? And we can go even further and as I was mentioning, the little duck company. Surely it's part of the, great companies like Amazon and Google. So how to interview for that company? How should I prepare for the interview? And looking for this, I found that many would ask, what are whiteboard interviews? And for some of the people who are participating here, they might be asking themselves, what is a whiteboard interview? So after Googling it, I thought I should know about it. And another question is how to be successful in a whiteboard interview. That's another question. When I reached a question which was a bit more profound with a clearer objective, I had to find resources, and I found several paths to get there. Surely there are people who have been in this situation trying to be successful in an interview of whiteboard time. It shows you different paths to get there, right? So in this search, I found that you were suggesting to read a lot about cracking the coding interview. More than 180 questions, programming questions. I found these in this book. The truth is, I'm not very good at reading in this time where we are in the world. So I don't know if I was going to able to achieve this. The classical thing. Surely I'm not the only one who's not good at reading so many pages, right? So I Googled how to use cracking the code interview effectively. They have tutorials of up to 10 minutes, 10-minute videos talking about the approach, and they would, give you tips as read this chapter or read these other chapter, not necessarily in the same order. But not everything you find will serve you. I mean, because everyone has a different interest. So you need to adapt this to your own experience. There are things in the book that I already knew and that I didn't need to read or repeat. That way you can make a checklist to see what is it that you need to find to get this dream job. So if you want to increase your opportunities in a technology type of job, things that it really help share and help others. You can do it by writing blogs while you're learning. You can draw comics. I love the comics of Julia Evans, for example. You can write music. I heard very interesting songs from UI UX. And you can also, for example, ask for and offer feedback to others and from others. You can also, if you can, contribute to open source projects. That would be great. I'm still doing it, I think, but very little, but I keep trying to make it better every time. With a free license software, it's a great way to do so. And you can also give talks or a workshop on something that you have learned that you think can, serve others the way I'm doing it right now. So that's all. Here I leave you with some resources that have been very useful during this research for a few years. For example, how to pick a career that actually fits you, despite the fact that everyone likes fun, having fun. So there you can find more specific things. What are the tech companies that you really like? Storytelling, personal branding, and getting hired. Colombia developers. Well, you can join the communities with these in persons and find out incredible things. That was everything. Thank you for your time. Thank you very much, Lupe, and thank you for your time and your dedication in all this.